Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking to you about the last video I did with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and the Super Bowl, and I'm going to be covering some other revelation of the method or predictive programming, symbolism, and just how important it is, and what we were shown in the Super Bowl, and I guess what we've been shown in the past. And it's extremely important, and I'm going to kind of connect that predictive programming with trust law, with the property that is your name, and I'm going to leave some links in the description, and I'll get more to this at the end here, but it's very important that you go through what I show you guys at the end, at least read it through, even if you don't understand it completely the first time, just to go through it and try to get a handle on trusts. And I'm going to leave 2 web pages, and then I'm going to leave a bunch of other videos that I'm going to explain here, like music videos, kind of predictive programming, because as we know, there's 2 types of messages that go on in this world. There's the message for the masses, and then there's the message that the higher-minded minority, the very small minority of us, can get out of these events and rituals. So, but what I want to talk about here, in addition to the Super Bowl, here I'll show you guys this first. In my last video here, got a lot of good comments. Thanks for all the comments and thumbs up. But I just kind of want to address this comment here from Lady Jane. Now, I don't know, I have never seen her before, but she kind of just blows off this connection here that I'm trying to make. But I'm gonna complete the connection here. It's not going to be the full video that I had planned, but I'm just going to complete the connection real quick, just to show you guys that there is a very specific and deliberate ritual here with the golden ratio, with the Super Bowl and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson here. So she wrote, Osama and The Rock, Samoa, really? You could find a way to connect anyone to anything. That's about as likely as me being connected to Putin. You can add, subtract, multiply, and divide any random numbers and come up with your own meanings. Well, the specificity of this ritual with The Rock and the Super Bowl it's not random. I'll just finish it for you guys here real quick. Like I said, I had a longer video planned, but let's just start at the beginning and go through the end and talk about how it connects to the golden ratio. So back on 9/18/2020, we had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He tears the gate off of his driveway, and like I said, that was 9/18/2020. And if we flip this 9/18 upside down, it's a 6/18. And as I've said before, 0.618 and 1.618 are references to the golden ratio. And I'll just show you the end completion date here that I've been looking at. 5/29/2022 would be the completion of this ritual. And I'll show you how this works as we go along. But 9/18 flipped upside down is a 6/18. We add 618 days and we get to 5/29/2022. So the completion of this ritual with The Rock and the Super Bowl, and not the completion, but the golden ratio completion, which has an astronomical alignment connection here, is May 29th, 2022. And on this day of May 29th, we have a Mars-Jupiter conjunction. And take a look here at this chart. Mars-Jupiter conjunctions. You can see May 29th, 2022. Now, I'm not completely 100% sure the significance or what's going to happen on this day or what it's referencing, but I need to go back and look at past Mars-Jupiter conjunctions, the events that happened on those days, to kind of get an idea of what maybe we might be seeing on May 29th. But the point is that this ritual with The Rock which started on 9/18. He tore the gate off of his driveway, and 9/18 upside down is 6/18, and tearing his gate off his driveway was a reference to this verse of Revelation, or excuse me, verse in the New Testament, Matthew 16:18. And I say unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. So, like, right, he's the Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and he tears the gates off here. But definitely golden ratio reference here. On a golden ratio day, kind of like the as above, so below symbolism with the 9/18. And then 618 days after that, it's 5/29, the Mars-Jupiter conjunction. And you can see here I have this Masonic stairway. Now, the symbolism behind this Masonic stairway here is that it's 3, 5, or the number symbolism is it's 3, 5, and 7 steps, and the top step is astronomy. So that's why we're looking at this Mars-Jupiter conjunction. And like I said, I need to go back and study the other Mars-Jupiter conjunctions to see what maybe we're looking at on May 29th for a completion of this golden ratio ritual. But if we take a look at the other part of this golden ratio ritual with the rock, is that the Super Bowl was 9 months and 11 days after the rock's birthday. And as I've showed you guys before, 9/11, Revelation 9/11, is the verse of Revelation that splits the 404 verses into the closest approximation of the golden ratio. Revelation 9:11 is the 154th verse of Revelation, and it leaves 250. And that gets us to the closest approximation of the golden ratio. Revelation 9:11. It's not quite exactly, but it's the closest verse that's going to get you to that 1.618, or the 0.618, the 154th out of 404 total verses in Revelation. So we have a golden ratio with the 9/11. I told you guys that Dwayne Johnson is from the family from Samoa. Samoa is an anagram of Osama. Osama, of course, the mastermind of 9/11. But what's interesting here, in addition to the Golden Gate ritual, or the golden ratio ritual with the gate in Matthew 16:18, is if we go from the Super Bowl to this date of 5/29, you can see it's 105 days, and 5/29 is JFK's birthday. And if you go back to his birthday on 5/29, 1917, it's 105 years. So 5/29, May 29th, Mars-Jupiter conjunction, 105 days after the Super Bowl, and it's JFK's 105-year birthday. And the significance of the 105 here is that it's our reference to this Masonic tracing board, this Masonic stairway. The factorization is 3 times 5 times 7, the 3 steps, the 5 steps, and the 7 steps. And astronomy being the highest step here. And the other symbolism behind this stairway, the reason it's not a straight stairway is that the symbolism with this Masonic tracing board is that if it was a straight stairway, it wasn't winding, you would have your goal always in sight. So to reach your goal, it'd be easier to reach your goal. Where the winding stairway, each step is an unknown step, and you don't see your goal until you actually get there. So that's the symbolism behind the winding stairway. It's easier to climb a winding stairway, but you don't always have your goal in sight. Whereas it's harder on a straight stairway, but you always see your goal. So kind of referencing the journey from the bottom to the top. It's an unknown journey for for the people who take the path. And not that I'm condoning or an advocate for Freemasonry, but that's the symbolism here, and astronomy, the last step on the top here, and the 105 being the 357 for the symbolism, with the 105 days after the Super Bowl and the 105th birthday of JFK on May 29th. So to answer that Lady Jane comment, yes, there's a very, very specific golden ratio ritual here with The Rock. He's one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. Of course, Hollywood is what magic wands are made out of, so this is their magic ritual to the golden ratio, with the gate and The Rock introducing the Super Bowl. Remember we had the Rams. The Rams are a ram is associated with a golden fleece. I went through all this before, and the Rams are the color of the flag of Ukraine, which is where I want to go to next before I get into the other symbolism with the halftime show and the symbolism with the trust law that I want to cover here. So as you know, my channel is all about Revelation 8:11, the falling wormwood star. 8:11, the 141st verse of Revelation. 141st verse, 8:11 is the 141st prime number. So a perfect sync up with the prime number and 8:11 there. But Wormwood is synonymous with Chernobyl. And of course we have the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And during this invasion, one of the first, we're told here anyway, I believe this is more a symbolic war than anything, but one of the first places that Russia took over, they wanted to take control of Chernobyl. Remember, Chernobyl is an anti-parasite. Wormwood is synonymous with Chernobyl. Artemisia absinthium. Wormwood is mainly used for treating parasitic infections. And as I said before, I keep linking this to your birthright, which was taken away from you. Osama is an anagram of Samoa. American Samoa is the only place that you're born, that you're not a U.S. citizen. The U.S. citizenship is a parasite on your U.S. national status, which is a completely different thing. The U.S. national is the status that was originally intended by the founders on July 4th, 1776. The Declaration of Independence, that was your U.S. national status. You were completely free to make your own choices, cause no loss, injury, or harm, and you were under I guess you could say a fair type of law form back when the United States was founded. But Samoa and Osama, anagram of each other, and then this reference to Osama destroying the Twin Towers. This is referencing your two different types of citizenships, your U.S. citizenship and then your U.S. national status. You can see here I have the South Tower observation deck, 107th floor. The height was 1,377 feet. Just like the ordinal gematria value of Revelation 8:11. Osama became the leader of Al-Qaeda on 8/11. Covered this all before, but just want to show you guys that there's a very specific ritual with this Ukraine. Ukraine is a sovereign nation that was invaded by Russia, and the citizens are taking up arms and defending their country. So that's part of the symbolism too. But Russia, the first thing they went after was Chernobyl, the anti-parasite. They want to control that. They don't want that getting in. They don't want the people to be free or sovereign. And then another nuclear power plant that the Russians took over, or were told anyway, is this Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. And in a bunch of these articles that I've been looking at with this Ukraine-Russian war, they refer to these power plants as NPPs, and kind of interesting, the NPP actually is an acronym for nuclear power plant. And if we look at the reduction gematria of NPP, it's 577. And I've showed you guys this before, but 811 in the base 10, and if we go to base 12, it's 577, and 577 is the 106th prime. And I'm going to be connecting this to another nuclear power plant here in the United States, maybe at this end of this video or another video, but very important that 577, 106th prime, and then it converts to 811 in the base 10, base 12 relationship here. But this NPP 577 connection, very important to Wormwood, Chernobyl, and this nuclear power plant connection here. So let's get back to this Super Bowl halftime show, the symbolism here, and what I really wanted, kind of the meat of my video here. I want to talk about the symbolism that they're trying to show you. It has to do with trust law, an idea that's called expressing the trust, and we're going to go back in time and look at these. Dr. Dre and Eminem, of course, they're famous for collaborating in the music industry, but two of their past songs connect to this idea of that I'm trying to get across here with trust law and expressing the trust. So if we go back here and look at Dr. Dre, back when he was in NWA, he had a song and a video here called Express Yourself. And the predictive programming or symbolism here is that they're talking about an express trust or expressing a trust. And here's one of the lyrics here. I'm expressing with my full capabilities. And then we have Eminem here with the song Hello, My Name Is. Okay, these are both linked here. Your name is property, and your mother gave that name away when you were born during the process of birth registration, and there's one way to get it back, and it's called expressing the trust. But that's the symbolism they're trying to put together here with these two by going back and looking at their past work here. I'm going to leave a link to two different websites here so you can get familiarized with what a trust is. There's a lot of examples of these people, scenarios where these people are making a trust, and you kind of determine whether it's a valid trust or not. But this website, or this web page about trusts, I want you to go through that. I know it's kind of dry and it kind of sucks, but you have to kind of understand the idea of a trust and how it relates to the property in that trust. You put something in a trust, it divides the equitable and legal title. But we'll have you go through that. And then here's another web page I want you to look at. Learn to express the trust. I know you're not going to get it probably in the first time. You might have to study it for a while, but just go over the ideas and elements of a trust, how to make a trust, and then go through some of this stuff, especially express and implied trusts. But that's what this video was all about. It's about expressing trusts. Eminem, my name is, your name is registered, so it was given away, and you have to express the trust to get it back. And I'm going to put two more videos in here that have predictive programming or revelation of the method, I guess you could call it. And let's see here. I don't know if I addressed this yet, but I have this slide here about signs and symbols rule the world. Of course, this is from the Matrix, Wake Up Neo, and that's referring, Neo is the brain, the neocortex is a set of layers of the mammalian cerebral cortex involved in higher order brain functions. such as sensory perception, cognition, generation of motor commands, spatial reasoning, and language. So your neocortex is in charge of your higher order brain functions. And that's what we're doing here. We're looking at the deeper meaning behind all these ritual displays, all these events like 9/11, these people that introduced the Super Bowl, these Super Bowl halftime shows. All this has two messages. One message for the masses to take at face value, and then the other message that's meant for the minority that can think and apply this higher order brain functioning of deciphering the signs and symbols, right? These people are doing this to wake you up. There's certain people in this world that they want woke up, or it sure seems like it, or they're giving you a chance to figure out what's going on in this world through all this symbolism. But you've got to use your brain. You got to think in a different, higher order of thinking, not just reading. You have to actually think through the signs and symbols where they're getting at with this stuff. So the Super Bowl halftime show, Eminem, Dr. Dre, two of their past videos have to do with expressing the trust. Here's a third video. I can't remember what Super Bowl it was, but Madonna was also the Super Bowl halftime entertainment at one time, and she has a song called Express Yourself. And you notice here there's a cat in this video. And as I talked about in my last video, the cat is interchangeable with the rabbit on the Chinese zodiac. And the twin towers that fell were replaced by a single 1,776-foot tower. And that tower address is 285. The 285th Millennium Lunation is on the last day of the Tiger Year, on January 21st, 2023, and then the first day of the Cat Year / Rabbit Year is on 1/22. So I think that's why we're seeing all this cat symbolism, and I'll show you some rabbit symbolism here too. Two more videos that I'm going to leave in the description for you guys to look at. Cake, of course, Cake, the band Cake. Cake is a reference, of course, to your birthday. Most likely time of year you're going to have cake is on your birthday. But there's two songs I wanted to have you take a look at or listen to. There's a very revealing lyric in this song called Short Skirt, Long Jacket. Like I said, if you're thinking and you're using this higher order of your brain and looking for the symbolism, they're telling you what to do and what it means. It's just a matter of kind of figuring it out. And I think that's why after 9/11, we saw all the symbolism that was shown to us before 9/11. So imagine if we would have figured out all the symbolism, all the music, all the movies that referenced 9/11 before it happened. That was kind of a lesson to us that we should be looking at things in a different symbolic way. But so this is a lyric from Short Skirt, Long Jacket by Cake. She's changing her name from Kitty to Karen. She's trading her MG for a white Chrysler LeBaron. Okay, so if you look at this lyric, she's changing her name, and an MG is a British car, and of course a Chrysler LeBaron is an American car. She's changing from her British name to her American name. That's what they're trying to get across here. And then we look at The Distance. This was one of my favorite songs. I was obsessed with this song back in high school, but in this video, there's the corporate guy here. He leaves his office building. He kind of runs back through nature, but they show the tiger and the rabbit, and they show a couple other animals too, but they show the bull. But definitely go through this. I'm going to leave all the links to everything here. Go through these videos, watch them, get the symbolism out of them, especially the lyrics. There's some very interesting lyrics with both these songs. And like I said before, this is the most revealing lyric, I think, to what the end goal for this symbolism with the name is. It has to do with the birth certificate. the trusts. So I want to go back here. Now this is from the last, this is from the Express Yourself video from Madonna. This is at the very end of the video. It says, without the heart, there can be no understanding between the hand and the mind. And this is from the movie, this is a reference to the movie Metropolis. There can be no understanding between the hand and the brain unless the heart acts as mediator. And when you're expressing yourself, you need to put your heart into it. When you're expressing yourself, it should be an auricular expression. And auricular means sound or hearing. And auricular also has to do with the chambers of the heart. Oracle, which are oracles, which are chambers of the heart. A-U-R-I-C-L-E. But without the heart, there can be no understanding between the hand and the mind. It's kind of like a movie script. You can read a movie script, but you don't get the full impact of the emotion unless it's spoken by the actors. The actors put their heart into it, and it gives the true meaning that they're trying to get across. That just the hand and the mind, they need this. They need the heart to get the full meaning of the of what's going on. So yeah, I wish I was a better way to describe this to you guys. I'm going to leave the links to all this stuff, and I can't stress how important it is to go through and look at the 2 web pages about trust to understand what a trust is, what the trust property is, what happens to the trust property. The trust property, when there's a trust created, it splits equitable and legal title. And like I said, they're pointing us, they're telling us what to do all through symbolism. It's just a matter of picking up on it and following through. And I wish I had more to show you. I've been working on something for over a year now, and I don't quite have it done, and I don't know if I will ever get it done, but I'd like to show you exactly what it is that I'm doing, but I'm not done, so it doesn't really mean anything yet, even though I know other people have done it and been successful. But I want to have my own stuff squared away, but definitely want to show you guys that, and maybe it'll be on a different platform. I'll figure out a way to get it out to you. But this is very, very extremely important symbolism that they're showing you, and just need to go back and figure it out. And like I said, the important day coming up here is May 29th with this Mars-Jupiter conjunction. I should take a look. I need to go take a look at these other Mars-Jupiter conjunctions to see what events happened, to get an idea of what this means on 5/29. Because it's definitely a deliberate ritual with the Super Bowl and this idea, or this ritual with The Rock tearing the gate off his driveway. Let me show you one more thing with the dates here. So if we go from the Super Bowl 2022 to this 5/29 date, you see it was 105 days. That gets us our 357 for the Masonic tracing board, the Masonic stairway. But I'm going to be talking about this date of 8/11 quite a bit coming up. So if we go from the Super Bowl to 8/11/2022, you can see it's 5 months, 29 days. Then if we go from 5/29 to 8/11, it's 2 months, 13 days. And right, they're just kind of the opposite days there. 5/29, 2/13. And like I said, all this stuff has to do with Revelation 8/11, the falling Wormwood star. I'm also going to be connecting it to Tennessee. Tennessee is 106 in ordinal gematria. 577 is the 106th prime. Tennessee actually has the newest nuclear power plant in the United States. And there's a Wormwood connection here, or a Chernobyl connection. I'll go through all this later, but talking about a lot about Tennessee and Revelation 8:11. Remember, the Tennessee Titans, their logo is a meteor, kind of like the falling Wormwood star, but I'll go through more of this later. But that's kind of where I'm going with Tennessee, the 106, and all these things going on with the nuclear power plants in Ukraine, I think, are predictive programming in themselves for an event in the United States. So, okay, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to leave all those links. I know it's dry, it's probably not fun, and if you already know about trust law, that's great. But I want you to go through, read the trusts, read about trusts, read about expressing the trust, and then go through each of the music videos that I leave and pick out the predictive programming that's directly related to that. And you'll just see it's all connected. They're sending us a message. It's just a matter of getting the message and executing the message. And the message isn't for everyone. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.